Have you ever wondered how we're going to build the next wave of AI? I'm not talking about just another chatbot, but about really complex systems. Ones that can actually reason, make plans, and take action in the real world. Well, that's exactly what Google's Agent Development Kit, or ADK, is all about. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute basics of what ADK is. Then we'll dive into its core components. After that, we'll see how to make them all work together. And finally, we'll walk through the whole process from building to deploying your very own agent. Before we look at what this all means for the future.
All right, let's get into it. What is this Agent Development Kit really? And more importantly, what problem is it actually trying to solve? Let's start with the big idea.
But hang on, before we can really get our heads around the kit, we need to understand what it helps you build. So let's ask the basic question. What in the world is an AI agent?
Okay, so in the ADK universe, an agent is your fundamental worker bee. It's this self-contained little unit of AI that acts on its own to get things done. It could be doing something simple or something super complex, but the key word here is autonomous. It works by itself.
And you can see here, the ADK isn't just one little piece of software. It's a whole toolbox, a complete client-side software development kit. It gives you literally everything you need: the agents, the tools, ways to manage them, memory, debugging, you name it. Think of it as getting the whole factory, not just one machine.
Okay, so now we know what we're building with. Let's take a look at what we're building from. This is where we get to meet the core building blocks. I like to think of this part as assembling your very own AI dream team.
And here's the structure of that team. See, everything starts from one foundational building block, the base agent. But from there, you can specialize into three main types. You've got your LLM-based agents, which are great for reasoning. You've got workflow agents for managing processes, and then custom agents for any kind of unique logic you can dream up.
So how do you choose which one to use? Well, it all comes down to the job at hand. If you need creative problem solving, maybe drafting different marketing ideas, you're going to want an LLM agent for its flexibility. But for a predictable step-by-step process, like filing an expense report, a workflow agent is your best friend. And for anything else that needs some special, unique logic, that's where the custom agent comes in.
Now, an agent is only as good as what it can actually do, right? And that's where tools come in. Tools are what give an agent its superpowers. It's the difference between an agent that can only talk about doing something and one that can actually do it, like running a piece of code, searching a database, or calling out to an API.
And the ecosystem of tools you can plug in is already huge. You can give your agents the power of Gemini to execute code, connect them to Google Cloud services like BigQuery, or even hook them into popular apps you use every day like GitHub, Notion, and PayPal. I mean, imagine building an agent that automatically creates a GitHub issue right from a task in Notion. This is the stuff that makes them truly useful.
All right, this is where things get really cool. Because the true magic of ADK isn't just building one super smart agent, it's about creating a whole system where specialized agents can work together, collaborate.
Think about it. Instead of trying to build one giant AI that does everything, you build a team. You could have one agent that's great at talking to users, another that manages a business process, and a third that's an expert at pulling data from an old database. This is how you start to tackle really complex problems. You let each agent focus on what it does best.
So, how do these different agents talk to each other? They use something called the agent-to-agent protocol, or A2A for short. You can think of it like a private, secure chat channel that only the agents can use. It's what lets them work together, hand off tasks, and share information. It's basically the communication backbone for your entire AI team.
And you might think setting this up is complicated, but it's actually incredibly straightforward. First, you define your agent and what it can do. Second, you wrap it in a special function to get it ready for A to A. And third, you just launch it on a server. That's it. Your agent is now officially online and ready to collaborate. So, you've designed your agent, you've given it tools, and you've even taught it how to work with others. Now for the exciting part, taking it from just a piece of code on your laptop and bringing it to life in the cloud. And there's a really well-defined path for this. It all starts with a clear goal. From there, you design and build the agent, giving it all the tools it needs. Then comes the really important part, running and debugging it on your local machine. Once you're happy with how it's behaving, you're ready to deploy.
Now that local debugging step is absolutely critical. And ADK's whole approach to logging is designed to make your life easier. It's smart. It can give you a ton of detail when you need to figure something out, but it stays quiet by default so you're not drowning in information.
You're in complete control of how much detail you see.
At the info level, you'll just see the basics of what the agent is doing. But if something's not working right, you can crank it up to debug and see everything. The full, raw prompts being sent to the LLM, every single internal step. It's like being able to read your agent's mind.
Now, what happens when things go wrong in the real world? Because they always do, right? A network connection drops, a server has to reboot. For a task that takes a long time, that could be a total disaster. Well, that's why ADK has a resume feature. It lets a workflow pause and then pick up right where it left off. This is absolutely essential for building systems you can actually rely on.
And finally, deployment. When you're ready to go live, it's pretty much a three-step dance. First, you set up your Google Cloud project. Second, you log in to connect your computer to the cloud. And third, you run a single command, add DK deploy. The toolkit handles all the messy stuff, packaging your agent up and shipping it off to the Vertex AI agent engine.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? When you zoom out, what does all of this really mean for the future of building AI?
Well, it's a huge shift in thinking. We're moving away from this idea of building one single giant monolithic AI that's supposed to know and do everything. Instead, ADK pushes us to build collaborative systems, basically teams of smaller, specialized agents that are amazing at their one job and work together to achieve a bigger goal.
ADK gives you a massive suite of over 10 major capabilities to make this a reality. This isn't just a simple library, it's a complete platform for building professional, production-ready agent systems.
This shift from thinking about a single AI worker to an entire AI team, it just opens up a whole universe of new possibilities. So I'll leave you with this question. If you could build an entire team of specialized AI agents, what problem would you have them solve?